Passes. Call to order the Ashland Board of Commissioners meeting for Thursday, March 14, 2024. We'll start with an invocation, then Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Father, we thank you for our city, Ashland, Kentucky. We ask and invite your Holy Spirit to enter our chambers and preside over our meeting today. We ask for your wisdom and guidance over this Board of Mayor and Commissioners as we strive to make the right decisions for our city and in the best interest of our citizens. Bless our city manager, our staff and employees, and those in attendance today. We pray always in Jesus' name. Amen.
Let us stand and salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have a motion to receive and file the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
We have a motion to receive and file the minutes for the regular meeting held on January 11th, 2024, the regular meeting held on January 25th, 2024, the regular meeting held on February 8th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Hearings and reports. Commissioners, I don't know if you could tell, but we have a large audience today, and that's because we have a lot of good things to talk about, and so this is exciting for us. So if you don't mind with your welcome, be brief as you can so we can move along with our meeting. So we'll start with Commissioner Spriggs.
Well,
How about
I
you?
get to be number one, and I haven't done a thing since the last commission.
I
meeting.
don't believe it.
My goodness. Well, I want to say welcome to everybody. We're so excited to see all of you here for good, positive news. We love all that kind of thing. I just have one thing to report is the Polk chapter of the Daughters of American Revolution is having its, I think, 8th annual Vietnam Veterans Luncheon on March 30 at noon at the Transportation Center. If you are a Vietnam veteran or have someone in your family, please get in touch with me so we can make a reservation for you. That's all I have right now.
All right, Commissioner Clark.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to see a full house on a beautiful, beautiful sunny day. I'm so excited for the sunshine. I guess we shouldn't get used to it because I don't think it's going to last very long. But
March is fickle,
yeah.
right?
And I will keep my comments very, very brief just because I know we have a lot to do. But thanks for coming.
All right, Commissioner Goode.
I want to welcome everybody. We had several ribbon cuttings in the past week. We had the Human Being on 13th Street, and we had a little store in the mall called Marley and Me, which is a children's store. We have 3 or 4 coming up this coming week with Pathways and with ARC. And I just want to applaud the academic team back there. I'm so proud of Coach Eric Lambert and your team, and we're going to honor you here in a few minutes. And I'm also proud of my Tomcat basketball team. I have to say, you know, they got beat 3 out of 4 times. Jim, I'm sorry. Jim Moore, I'm sorry. I know that you're a Boyd County guy, but it's like Christmas in my house when we beat Boyd County. And so
40 years ago, it was Boyd County that beat Ashland.
well, that's what, but
40 years ago.
And I was on that team.
40 years ago.
Thank you, Commissioner.
But I want to give kudos to Coach Ryan Bonner, which is Erica's brother. He's the coach. And I looked out on the floor, and 4 of the 5 players were my football players. And they're going to play at Rupp at 1:30. And so I'm very, very proud of our Tomcats. Very, very proud of you, this team back here in the back today. That's all I have.
All right, and last but not least, Commissioner Bland.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Great to see everybody. Congratulations to the Tomcats. It's been a pleasure over the years watch them play, but today we're going to celebrate another team from Blazer, and we're really looking forward to that. So, Developmental Disability Awareness Month is this month, and my wife is an ABA therapist, and I just wanted to recognize that awareness month. We have so many children and adults. 1 in 6 children in the U.S. Will have a developmental disability, and it's important to recognize them and the professionals who work in our education system every day for those children and adults. Last but not least, the Daffodil Springtacular Walk, I think I got that right.
You did.
Is Sunday the 17th, held by the YMCA at Central Park at 3 p.m. That will be a really nice event with all the daffodils around the city. Thank you.
Okay. City Manager, you may notice a different face up here today, but we welcome Mr. Hall, and if you will, go ahead and give us your report.
Real quickly, I only have one thing to share. Mr. Grazy wanted me to share this, that we have the most recent sampling data in from our disinfection byproducts. And we had another quarter of compliance, which takes us to 7 years, over 7 years straight of compliance. So, if you've been here very often, you'll hear those mentioned from time to time, and it might be a little bit redundant, but that wasn't always the case, that we could report the good news in the past. So we want to report the good news when we can.
And that basically means that we've had no water quality violations for over 7 years.
For disinfection byproducts, yes.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Well, we thank you and your team for all the hard work. It's quite the turnaround, and we know that.
For all those notices?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You all have done a great
Worldwide.
job, and our citizens as well as this commission is grateful. All right. With that being said, we're going to move on to the next part of our agenda, which is Citizens Academy recognition. So with that, I think Michelle Dickens, our HR Director, will be up here to present or help present.
Okay, I'll try to make this brief as well. So I'm pleased to provide a recap of our Citizens Academy. We couldn't have asked for a better group of participants. We met for 6 consecutive weeks, providing a structured and immersive experience for our participants. Our sessions were held in various locations, including the commission chambers, streets, utilities, fire, and police departments. The curriculum covered a wide range of topics. Through presentations, participants were given firsthand insights into the functions, responsibilities, and challenges faced by every department. Throughout the program, we incorporated opportunities for interactive engagement, discussions, and Q&A sessions. Our primary goal was to empower citizens with knowledge about our local government in regards to processes, services, and resources. We are encouraged by the impact of the Citizens Academy in addressing inquiries, dispelling misconceptions, and fostering a sense of community ownership and collaboration. Participants received a weekly survey, and the feedback we received from participants, as you can see here, was overwhelmingly positive, indicating a high level of satisfaction and appreciation for the opportunity to learn and engage. The first annual Citizens Academy served as a pivotal initiative in fostering greater transparency, understanding, and participation in local governance. And thank you for your continued support. And at this time, we can call them forward.
Okay. Just real quick, though, I do want to thank our HR department. You all have done an excellent job, as well as all the departments in our city opening their doors to our citizens. I think one of the things that we get criticized a lot about in government is we're not transparent enough. And I think this is a perfect example of us doing all we can to show our citizens exactly what work is being done behind the scenes on behalf of the public. And I think from what the comments I've read, it was an eye-opener for so many and a positive experience. So with that, we will go ahead and acknowledge our graduates of our academy. You will come forward, and you're going to stand with me right here in the middle. Robin Douglas? Oh, yeah. All right, got it. Left, you want to stand right over here for me.
Thea Simon. Sandy Woodward. Jim Moore.
We have two Jim Moores up here at the same time.
Tammy Wheeler.
Yes, it is.
Gary Donaldson. Desiree Lynch. AJ Bailey.
I'll give you a little story about Oh, yeah. So the first day I said, most of you all know who I am. There's one hand came and said, oh. She knows now. Easy, counsel.
And then we have three that couldn't be here with us today, but it's Keith McBride, Diane Nadine, and Scott Duval. I'd like to recognize them as well.
Well, let's give a round of applause for our. If you all don't want to stay, you don't have to. It's like graduation, you all want to get, I'm sure you all want to get back to work. Yeah, not really, not really. Okay. Moving on, I've got some recognition that I'd like to take an opportunity to present something of significance to our fire department. And if it means a lot to our fire department, it means a lot to this commission. So with the Ashland Fire Department, I'd like to recognize the contribution of McGuire's Towing to enhancing our training capabilities. On March 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, the State Fire Rescue Training hosted a new accredited certification program for vehicle extrication at the drill tower in Ashland. This program involved over 45 state instructors from throughout the state, along with 8 instructors from the fire department. McGuire's Towing provided 50 vehicles to use for this training opportunity. Several days prior to the training, McGuire's Towing worked at placing the vehicles at the drill tower. On the training dates, McGuire's Towing provided personnel and equipment to stage different scenarios for the event, and after the event, they also assisted in cleaning the area. This training event would not have been possible without the resources and support they provided. The City of Ashland Fire Department wants to publicly thank McGuire's Towing for their contribution. If representatives from McGuire's Towing would come forward, please, along with our fire chief.
Where'd they get all those cars? Where'd they get all those cars?
Roundabouts.
Don't start.
Don't ask. One of the commissioners asked where did they get all the vehicles. I assure you it wasn't around a roundabout. All right. And we thank you so very much. We appreciate you. Thank you. All right.
Community partners.
That's right. Got it? Let's get into the last one. I'm starting to feel like Bob Barker. Who's next? Let's see.
Come on down.
Yeah. Okay. We're next going to acknowledge a proclamation for colon cancer. Would anybody from King's Daughters, would they like to come forward? There she is. Yep, come on up.
Smile, Donna.
Dina has worked
Dina.
pretty hard to make sure that I did not forget today, and I appreciate your commitment to this cause. As I prepared the proclamation, I found some interesting statistics that I think make this proclamation very relevant for this audience. Whereas colon cancer is the 3rd most common cancer diagnosed in both men and women in the United States, and whereas age-adjusted colorectal cancer incidence was 21% higher in Appalachian, Kentucky versus the rest of the state. And whereas early detection through screening can greatly increase the chance of survival and successful treatment of colon cancer. And whereas promoting awareness of colon cancer and the importance of screening can save lives and improve public health outcomes. And whereas the City of Ashland, Kentucky recognizes the significance of raising awareness about colon cancer prevention and early detection, now I do hereby proclaim the month of March as Colon Cancer Awareness Month in the City of Ashland. I urge all of our citizens to learn about the importance of colon cancer screening, of which I have done, and to encourage their loved ones to take proactive steps towards prevention and early detection. Thanks so much. All right. All right. Would the representatives of the Red Cross come forward? this one. Whereas during American Red Cross Month in March, we recognize the compassion of the people in West Virginia and reaffirm our commitment, and Kentucky, and reaffirm our commitment to care for one another in times of crisis. Whereas this generous spirit is woven into the fabric of our community, advances the humanitarian legacy of the American Red Cross founder Claire Barton, one of the most honored women in our country's history, who nobly dedicated herself to alleviating suffering. And whereas today, kind-hearted individuals in our community exemplify Barton's commitment as they provide a beacon of hope for our neighbors in need. Through their voluntary and selfless contributions, they make a life-saving difference in people's darkest hours, whether it's delivering shelter, food, and comfort during disasters, providing critical blood donations for our hospital patients, supporting military families, veterans and caregivers through unique challenges of service, saving lives with first aid, CPR and other skills, and delivering aid and reconnecting loved ones separated by global crisis. Whereas the Red Cross of Central Appalachian Region assisted 900 families impacted by disasters such as home fire and flood, installed nearly 3,000 smoke alarms, making over 1,100 homes safer, educating nearly 3,300 students in preparedness education, collecting 36,000 units of blood, I think mainly from one man, at 1,600 blood drives, and providing 1,700 services to our military members, veterans, and their families. We hereby recognize this month of March and honor all of those who lead with their hearts to serve people in need, and we ask everyone to join in this commitment to strengthen our community. So now, therefore, I also proclaim it Red Cross Month. Thank you. Really special moment. Whereas local 91-year-old hero, Euless Hayes, has assisted with saving many lives through blood donations. Hayes gave his 41st gallon of life-saving blood towards the finish of February, all to help patients in need. And whereas he's devoted over half his life to service by volunteering for more than 50 years with the American Red Cross, and whereas Hayes is the blood program leader for Boyd County Community Blood Drive, which is the longest running blood drive in the area, marking this the 75th year. He is responsible for helping save hundreds of lives. So with that, my friend, and I do call you my friend, we honor this day by naming this day Euless Hayes Day in the city of Ashland. Commissioner Clark in. You don't want to say anything? Well, we appreciate you and keep giving that blood. Thank you so much.
I want to shake your hand. What's your blood? I thought I did give 5 down.
Well, appreciate you. All right, we got a little bit more room. Now I'm going to ask that the Ashland Blazer academic team and coaches come forward, please. Bring that hardware. Let them ring.
Just hold it over your head at all times.
So this crowd, you know, again, ladies and gentlemen, we often recognize our athletes. You all are athletes. And what you represent by dispelling and breaking stereotypes of Appalachia, by winning academic competitions, symbolizes what we already knew about our region. We've got great kids growing up to be whatever they want to be because they're smart and they're driven. And I couldn't be more proud of you as mayor. With that, I'm going to read this proclamation. The Ashland Blazer academic team is made up of quick recall, content assessment, writing, and future problem solving. This year, the team took second overall in the state after getting second in quick recall, first in arts and humanities, second in math, fourth in arts and humanities, and fifth in language arts. Second, first time, correct? Ever. Ever.
It was our first time in quick recall finals in 32 years also.
32 years.
Program's only 34 years old.
Just a little bit older than I am. Quick recall is a team event in which students buzz in and answer extremely difficult academic questions. Our team is captained by Anna Bocook, and team members are Alexandra Ellison, raise your hand, Nathan Woolery, Bonham Buchanan, Dirk Hay, Caroline Yates, Zach Dillon, okay. Ashland coaches, guy with the beard, Eric Lambert. Assistant coaches, Dawson Covert, Matt Dickinson, Seth Skaggs, Coach Emeritus, Dr. Tackett, Writing Coach, John Mulvaney, Science Coach, Justin Emmel. The team is also, the team is also heavily assisted and mentored by several alumni who have assisted throughout the year and attended the Governor's Cup competition. Logan, Covert, Ace Ferris, and
Mo. Just call him Mo. We just call him
Mo. Our Superintendent Sean Howard has done an amazing job supporting, empowering our coaches to do whatever it takes to get this team to the top. The Blazer administration has also been amazing in supporting and recognizing our hard work and achievements. We greatly appreciate the support from our community and the recognition of the hard work they put in. We couldn't agree with that more. I've got certificates of recognition for some of you. I also have this proclamation. Whereas it is significant we celebrate and perceive the extraordinary things that things a student accomplishes both inside and beyond the school building. Whereas it has come to the attention of the City of Ashland, Anna Bocook, a Paul Blazer high school student, exhibits astounding scholastic abilities which have earned her well-deserved recognition. Whereas in the content assessment, Anna Bocook earned the title of state champion in the arts and humanities and took 5th place in language arts. We recognize you with this proclamation. All right, next, it's come to attention that Caroline Yates exhibits astounding scholastic abilities which have earned her the well-deserved recognition of students, fostering strong relationships among students, families, faculty, and the community, and creates a positive school culture where students feel valued. Whereas in the content assessment, Caroline earned 4th place in state arts and humanities competition. We recognize your achievements and congratulate you. Also has come to our attention, Alexandra Ellison has won in content assessment, earning the title of runner-up in the mathematics competition. We recognize and thank you for your accomplishments. Nathan Woolery, we're recognizing you for content assessment. You earned 11th place in the state science competition. Congratulations. With this, we recognize all of you for all that you've done. We're proud of you. We couldn't be more excited for what your future holds. You represent the best of Ashland, you represent the best of Appalachia. And with that, I have one more thing to give. Head coach Eric Lambert has been a social studies teacher at Blazer for 17 years, in which he's coached the academic team for 13 years. He's a graduate of Blazer, known for his colorful Hawaiian shirts, quirky dad jokes, and statistical spreadsheets of the competition. He has taught the team being an academic is cool. Your team is your family, and respect for your fellow competitors is important. He's produced memories that will last a lifetime and has invested into the academic program and individual growth of each player. In the past year, he's coached 103 matches and logged over 300 practice hours, not counting the practices over Discord. I don't even know what that means, but it sounds... And I know that you've sacrificed time away from your family to do so. Coach Lambert, you are a shining example of talent and dedication of the teachers within our school district, and it's my honor to present you with the key to the city for all that you've done. Okay, I'm gonna stand behind you. All this hardware.
Matt, you just look like one of them.
What is it?
You look like one of them up there.
It's maybe the only time I've ever heard that.
Sorry, proud mom.
That's right. All right, thank you guys so much. Now back to school. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness. What he just sent me. What he just sent me.
That's really nice.
Oh, great.
I gotta go bar and get my daffodil t-shirt.
These are ours.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you get your daffodil t-shirt?
I haven't gotten it.
I'm gonna get mine today.
Brian just sent me a picture of Ella.
Okay, well, I don't know about you, but I wish every meeting was
Yeah.
starting this way.
Amen.
Yeah.
We always have good things happening in our community, and I think moments like this, where it all comes together beautifully, is an opportunity for us to reflect on the blessings that we have here with the people that we work for in our community. I think it's one of those times that I'm most proud to be mayor, honestly. We're going to move on to public participation. Anyone with a comment or request may come to the podium and address the commission concerning matters related to city business, services, or personnel. Comments related to election issues or concerning personal disputes will not be allowed. Personal attacks, threatening language will not be tolerated. Presentations are limited to 5 minutes. The yellow light indicates 30 seconds remain, and a red light means the time limit has expired. Only one speaker is permitted per subject. No action will be taken at this meeting. Those with a comment are asked to fill out an inquiry form and leave with the city clerk for distribution to the proper city department. At this time, would anybody like to come forward? I have a feeling I know our first gentleman. Yes, sir.
Hi, guys. Go Tomcats, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. On February the 24th, I attended the Veterans Forum here in Ashland. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. This absolutely stinks. Right now in the United States, there's 133 veterans committing suicide. That's unacceptable, I think. Also, if these people that know somebody, that a veteran that is homeless, the Veterans Administration right now has a boatload of money, but call this number here and they'll hook them up with a place to live. I don't know what it curtails or anything like that. That's all I know. So that's all I got to say.
Well, I was able to attend the Veterans Symposium that was held at First Christian Church, and I want to thank the church and, of course, the VA for coming down to our community to highlight this important topic.
The people there was all from Washington.
Yeah.
They're acceptable bunch.
Thank you.
I just want to echo what the mayor said. Veterans are very near and dear to my heart, and I'm sure all of us
Absolutely.
up here, and it should be everybody.
Yeah.
For the freedoms we have, this should be of grave concern to everybody.
Anybody
So,
wants one of these cards, I have some, so I got them up there, so.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it.
Well,
All right. Would anybody else like to come forward at this time? Go ahead, sir. Just your name and address.
My name is Jasper Ball. I'm from Fiveco. I actually live over in Huntington, but I serve Eastern Kentucky.
I forgive you.
you need to move here.
Hey, I'm thinking about it.
All right.
Y'all
Good
just
answer.
wait here. Let's see. All right. So I was coming here. I was just telling you all a little bit about what's going on in our end of the world. Fiveco has made some good changes managerially. We're growing our capacity.
Could you please explain to the audience what Fiveco is?
All right. So Fiveco represents 5 counties: Greenup County, Boyd County, Carter County, Lawrence County, and Elliott County. So as you know, we have a bunch of small little towns, counties of varying degrees of capacity to work with the federal government and do things of that nature. So our role, I work in the Economic Development Department. I've been working there for a little bit under a year now. I'm the Water Management Coordinator. We do a lot of different things for this region, but I'll talk a little bit about what I do. I'll be hosting the Water Management Council here on March 18th at 10:30 at the Fiveco Conference Room up on the Industrial Parkway. We'll be recapping the previous meetings from November and December, and I'll tell folks, I want people to know what we do, because the more people that know how to do this kind of work, the better off everybody is going to be, Like I said, we've made some changes at Fiveco, hired some extra staff, moved people over for economic development. That includes infrastructure, water, wastewater, and congratulations to you folks on the big waste treatment plant that you are working on. I work with Steve Cole frequently up there. Coming down the pipeline from the state is additional funding for water and wastewater and stormwater infrastructure. They're still hashing out the numbers, but right now they're looking at about $150 million across the state for water and wastewater infrastructure, and about $450 million for House Bill 9, which is covering the local share for federal grants, which generally speaking is about 20% of the total cost of a project. We'll be talking about lead service line inventories and PFAS contamination in water, and how to address that, and how the state is allocating resources to address this, and how all of our systems are working towards the goal of having a completed inventory so we can begin work. We at Fiveco, we kind of rank and help prioritize work and funding regionally. So right now I'm working on the 2024 plan, which will hopefully get us a work plan to about 2050, and that includes, where we're at right now as far as aging infrastructure, current capacity, planned growth, things of that nature. That includes personnel capacity. We're generally trying to get ahead of things nowadays, and planning is the best way to go about doing that. And if you all have any questions about anything of that nature, please call the office, reach out to me. I'm always available. Thank you.
Mr. Ball, thank you for coming forward to our meeting. I think it's important that we do get feedback from 5Co every once in a while, so to see you in our chambers here today is an important step, I think, in the right direction. We need that dialogue. We, of course, have a seat on the 5Co board, and I'm there as much as I can be, as is our city manager, as my proxy when I can't be there. But I know a lot of the good work that's being done through the 5Co Development District, and it's because of what you all been able to do, helping us. We've been able to get some state and federal dollars put towards infrastructure projects that are important to this community. I think it would be wise for me to, since we're talking about wastewater, mention that the importance of Hal Rogers in our district has made just a huge impact. The state and federal, the federal budget just was passed with an earmark through Hal Rogers' office for $4 million, $4 million free dollars to this community for our wastewater treatment plant. And that is huge. That means that those are dollars that we do not have to ask for from our resident customers. So we appreciate Congressman Rogers for all that he has done and continues to do for the citizens of Eastern Kentucky. We also have projects, KIA, Kentucky Infrastructure Funds, in the millions. We were able to get a low-interest loan. Mr. Cole has been working on that with trying to secure those funds so that we can continue this project, because we're going to need a lot more than $4 million to get the wastewater treatment plant upgraded. I know some of our Citizen Academy members have seen that firsthand. It's going to take real dollars, and it's an unfunded mandate from the federal government that we do this, but it's the right thing to do, and this commission's committed to working on all of these infrastructure projects.
If I may say one more thing, if you're looking at economic development, the first thing that somebody's going to look at when they are trying to site a new manufacturing facility or something of that nature, trying to site a new school, trying to site any kind of large infrastructure that impacts a lot of people, employs a lot of people, first thing they're going to look at is, do you have your water lines? Do you have your sewer lines?
Electric, gas.
That's the things we don't generally think about
until they're out.
Yeah, and that stuff is astoundingly expensive to run, and it's stuff that you have to maintain every so often. So planning for growth and maintenance, it's something that's very, very important to this region. And thank you.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to come forward at this time?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kathy Queen. I'm the Executive Director of Ashland Animal Rescue Fund. I'm also a resident of here in Ashland on Pleasant Avenue. I would like to come to you with several things I want to bring to attention and things that I would hope to get some city support from. First of all, I want to give a little background. ARF, it's when I say we, I'm considering me part of ARF since the director. We have been around since 2009. I've been involved since 2010. So I have 14 years of experience with the rescue. I've previously held other positions, but in the last year and a half, I've been moved up to the executive director. As you've probably seen and heard, ARF has joined with the Boyd County Animal Shelter to assure that everything dealing with the animals in our community is well taken care of. We joined forces for many reasons. one of which was to make sure the animals got the correct care that they needed before they could even leave the building. And as you know, vet care, animal care is very expensive. A reflection of that is our working budget. This year, our budget had to be increased significantly because of inflation. And along with that, because of the numbers of animals that are being dumped and having to be rehomed because of that. It's kind of a chain reaction type of thing. And it's probably the last thing that people want to think about, but many of the folks are given no choice when it comes right down to it. They have to rehome their animal. It's either that or make provisions for their family. Approximately $300,000 or more is where our working budget is currently, and that has risen significantly. We are a nonprofit. There are many wonderful nonprofits in our community, and I want to kudos to all of them, but the animals in our community seem to come in last in a lot of people's ideas. I'm so proud of the staff that we have at our facility. I'm so proud of our volunteers because this is not a Kathy Queen show. This is a team effort, and it filtrates throughout the community. I mean, we go to, we are always asked to go places. We're always asked to do workshops. We've been asked to be a part of big, huge events, and we always try to make that happen. So it's a lot of work that people really don't see behind the scenes. We are fortunate in this community because we have strong support, and we are so, so thankful for our community. Now, the problem is at this point is that we need assistance from the city. I gave a little handout to Mayor Perkins and the city commissioners showing what the breakdown was a couple of years ago about the number of animals that entered the Boyd County shelter. It was close to 48% of the animals came from within the city. And with that being said, we are hoping that the city would help to, ease the costs on some of this. We know the problem with cats in the community. I've heard it all. I know there have been funds that have been allocated for spay and neutering. To my knowledge, I don't think anything had progressed from that. But we're willing to do whatever it takes to make Ashland something to be proud of. We are proud of our academic team. We are proud of our sports team. We're proud of the city and the many wonderful things that are currently going on. But if you were to visit another city, you don't see the stray animals. You don't see the people wanting to rehome as much. We've got to make some changes, and that comes with the city and the county joining together. So why I come here is to request two things. First of all, I know it's budget time, and I know things are tight with everyone, but I would like for Ashland Animal Rescue to be considered as part of your new working budget in some form of donation yearly. We need secure donations. We run totally on the support of our people that support our endeavors and fundraising. And honestly, fundraising is very hard when you're in a small city. There's so many nonprofits that have to do the same thing, and it's a chore. But it's done with love because we love what we are about. Also, I don't know if you're aware of it, but the number of abandoned pets have soared. They throw them out and everything. So you just need to realize that we're trying to pick up messes from other people too. So it's a huge need in our community. The other request that I have quickly is that currently we could use some immediate help. So if there's anything that you could do monetarily to support our cause, it would be very beneficial. Our vet costs have soared. Vaccines,
Ms.
food,
Queen,
everything.
I'm sorry, I apologize, but the time has expired.
Okay.
But I just wanted to express our gratitude to you, ARF, and the county for the efforts made to get the new facility in place. I was able to tour that on the ribbon cutting day and was sharing in the excitement. if you all have an opportunity, you all need to go see that facility. It's a huge upgrade. The conditions for our pets and abandoned animals are important to us as well as a city. And I think what you've said today, we're going to take this very seriously as we look at the budget and appreciate you coming forward.
Well, we thank you, and, you know, I've got the gift of gab, I'm sorry.
That's
but-
okay.
That's the school
Teacher.
teacher in me. But
thank-
thank you all for your time, and we appreciate any consideration that you can do to assist us currently and in the future.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Would anybody else like to come forward?
Yes, good afternoon, ladies, gentlemen. My name is Dirk Hay. My wife and I, Amy Hay and I, we have a small apartment complex here in the city. And there's some questions that we were interested in learning more. You mentioned transparency earlier. We just aren't familiar with everything. Some of the questions that we have are this rollout of a registration for apartment rentals, houses. What is the purpose of that? And why wouldn't those same things be already covered beneath the nuisance ordinance that was passed at the same time? And all that information is already available on the business licenses. Now, for us, the $100 a day by April 1st, this was only just rolled out a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
And it's not been rolled out to everybody that owns rental properties. So you're gonna have some people that are far more than us, and I don't know, I guess what I'm asking is what's the purpose of this? And why is it being rolled out in a sort of haphazard manner? It's not very professional to the tenants, to the landlords, when the tenants get this, not the landlords. We don't do business through the city, through our tenants. I'm just trying to ask these questions, and I'll let you all speak about that now.
Okay. We typically don't take the opportunity to really go into much during the public commenting period. We do want to get the feedback from you all, obviously, as we have on the other side. And I think what we heard you say today was a sense of frustration with the short time on the rollout. Is that correct, sir?
That's one of the frustrations,
Okay.
correct.
And we'll take that into our consideration as we move forward this meeting, so we appreciate your time.
And then one last question is as I've discussed it with other rental property owners, et cetera, in the city, I guess, is there a way through this means or another form where we can come back and have y'all take a second look at that ordinance and how we can address that
The
going
commission
forward?
has opportunities during the meeting, but at an appropriate time. It's not during public commenting period, to take action on new business.
Yes, sir.
And, sir, if you will bear with us, there may be open discussion about this moving forward.
Terrific, thank you very
Thank
much.
Let's wait
you.
till new business. What-
Thank you. Would anybody else like to come forward at this time? All right. Oh,
Tom Rose, Catlettsburg, Kentucky. I myself had the same question as this gentleman right here.
Sir, just to clarify, under the setup of the agenda, only matters that are of a different nature can be discussed. We only allow one person per topic. If it is the same matter, we have heard that, and I apologize, but that's just in a sense of brevity. But if is it the same concern?
Same thing, it's just I wanted to comment on how that city ordinance that finds out how many apartments, that's how rent control got started in New York City. There's a lot of things that come from that is not just emergency.
Well, I think, again, to previous gentleman's point and to your point, we will be looking potentially at this in new business.
Okay.
Okay? Thank-
Today?
Today, yeah. Thank you. Okay. All right, would anybody else like to come forward at this time? Welcome.
Thank you. Before I begin, I just wanted to
Yeah, need-
say congratulations to the McGuire's company.
Could you please give us your name and
Oh,
address?
sure.
Thank you.
Eric Potter, and I live on Highland here in Ashland.
Okay.
So, but yeah, and the kind gentleman that donated all 41 gallons of blood, the academic team, I thought that was incredible, very powerful. So, yeah, like as I said, my name's Eric Potter. Some of you may have known my father, Ernest Potter. He delivered mail in this community for nearly 3 decades. I joined Kentucky People's Union because I wanted to join others in making our wonderful community even better. Housing for all is something that hits close home to me. Not only have I been homeless and have had a sister become homeless in the past, but I just recently attended the funeral of Anthony Leggett, a dear friend of mine who ended up homeless far away from home, alone and afraid. As many homeless do, he spent the majority of his time on the streets. He was killed in those very streets by a hit and run in Arizona. Anthony grew up here in Ashland. We became best friends in high school and graduated in the same class of 2000 at Paul G. Blazer. When Anthony got his driver's license, his father drove the ice cream truck here in Ashland throughout the 90s and 2000s. And when Anthony got his driver's license, his dad would let him drive the truck from time to time to make a little extra cash. He loved seeing the kids run up to the truck, full of joy to get their favorite treat. He'd make them laugh and smile. He was the type of guy that would do anything for anyone in need, even a stranger. There was hardly a man with a stronger sense of kindness and justice. As we all know, after high school, we tend to start drifting apart, keeping in touch over the years here and there. Last time I spoke to Anthony, he had just become a father. He was happier than I'd ever known him and couldn't have been more proud to be a new dad. We lost touch shortly after that. I was going through a lot, and he was a new parent, and I didn't think much of it. I figured we'll get back in touch at some point. About 8 years later, I received a message from another close friend of ours that Anthony had passed away. To my surprise, I was told shortly after he had his baby, he started showing signs of schizophrenia. His symptoms got worse and worse until they were absolutely debilitating. And as anyone who's dealt with this disease on a personal level knows, the medications that help with controlling this disease often have side effects that are miserable in and of themselves. So it is not uncommon that they decide to go off their meds because they are not suffering from schizophrenia anymore, and they just simply can't deal with these side effects any longer. After losing both his parents within a couple years of each other, he fell into a deep depression, went off his meds, and ended up missing. No one had a clue where he was. Friends and family searched for years to no avail. When something finally came in about where he was located and plans were being made to bring him back home to Ashland, that's when he got hit by a car and died in the streets over 1,000 miles away from any home, family, or friends, afraid and alone. Around 80% of homeless population have a severe mental illness. They don't choose this path. A lot of us like to think that couldn't happen to me or one of my loved ones. Well, I stand before you today to say that it absolutely can, and it did for Anthony and his loved ones who will never get to see or hear from him ever again. When I'm driving through Ashland and see the homeless on the streets, I see my dear friend Anthony, alone, confused, and afraid. If the state he was living in took care of the homeless as opposed to looking at them as less than human, he may very well be alive today, surrounded by the people who love him. We shouldn't treat homeless people, and they are indeed people, like our very own Anthony, as criminals instead of people. We should treat them with compassion and kindness and do what we can to help. Alone, there's not much a single person can do. But if we come together, we can truly make an impact for those suffering the most. We've heard you say at these meetings many times that the housing crisis isn't just a national issue, and we agree. We do believe there are key things our local leaders can do: enforce and make public a rental registry, pass your ROLTA, to improve living conditions and hold slumlords accountable. We truly appreciate all you've done to send out flyers stating that the rental registry is required and the deadline is April 1st. We look forward to working with you to enforce this deadline, and we will continue to push to make it so that all citizens of Ashland can benefit.
Sir, I appreciate it. Your time is up.
Okay. Just in closing, I appreciate everyone here for giving me the time and opportunity to tell Anthony's story. Now, it's time to do what's right. Thank you.
Thank you. Just quickly, I just want to comment in this regards. Mental health is very important to me, and I know this commission. I met with the CEO of the new ARC mental health facility that's getting ready to open March 19th. It's important to the state. The governor will be here for that event. We don't have enough resources in this nation, let alone this community, for mental health. And there needs to be permanent long-term supportive housing that covers both addiction and mental health for us to see this way through. But to have that happen requires people like us that are advocating and meeting with the leadership of those organizations, as well as our state and federal officials, because it's going to have to come from them. Those dollars are going to have to come flowing through to us at the end through our housing department, through HUD, because we don't have enough resources right now for those things. And the other thing we have to work on too is people have to be willing to trust us to help them. And I think there's been a lot of distrust over the years with government for many reasons, but that has been a challenge. I think I've told you previously in my meetings with homelessness on the streets, when we did the official count, I offered housing to many. They chose not to. And there was multiple reasons why that is. Some of it's mental health, some of it's choosing to stay in addiction, some of it's distrust of somebody you don't know offering you housing on the streets. But it's a complicated issue. But I appreciate, and this commission appreciates, what you're all doing, the message you're sending that everybody matters, because they do matter. I just hope that those folks that we see on the street that, to your point, that are human beings, understand we are trying to help. And we're not trying to criminalize this. We're actually just trying to get them housed and get them help. Okay?
Yeah, I wasn't accusing you guys of criminalizing it. There's a House bill today, State House Bill 5, that our state legislators are voting on.
Well, nobody.
And they are trying to criminalize.
Well, nobody in this commission has talked about that. Just to be clear, nobody has called about House Bill 5.
Okay.
What we're asking for is on the other side for resources we need to house our people. So we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
And there's plenty of resources Kentucky has that can be allocated towards this, especially if the people who they'll listen to, like you all, reach out to them and let them know how important this is to our city.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody else would like to speak at this time?
Hello,
Recognize you, sir. How are you doing?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Doing good. Name and address for the record.
David Reimer, 5523 Blackburn Avenue.
Yeah.
I listened to several things the KPU has said across several meetings.
I just want to be clear. Will this be a similar sentiment to the previous gentleman that spoke on behalf of landlords?
No, it's not.
Okay.
Not the room.
Okay.
What I was going to say is I feel the KPU, they have obviously quite a few people and a lot of maybe free time that maybe individual landlords don't have. And I think going for the rental registry and anything of that nature is maybe not the best thing to do to incentivize, more building here. I think our problems, we have a shortage of units, not that they can't be found. So I think what maybe the new focus should be is trying to look into people who are willing to fund, such as I think LIHTC and several other government programs offer tax incentives. And maybe if some of y'all could familiarize yourselves with that and maybe reach out to some of the local investors, maybe we give people building a lot more housing that would help with the homeless issue. And, I think that makes a lot more sense than trying to pass more things that'll make it more difficult, because that's not the issue. The issue is the units just aren't here. We need to build more, not deter people from wanting to come and invest and build more. So.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay. Anybody else like to come forward? Sir, if this is in relation to what the gentleman previously spoke about in regards to KPU, we have heard.
I understand.
Okay.
No, it's a different thing.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Mark Boykin. I live at 2108 Lexington Avenue, and I just wanted to bring to y'all's attention. Yesterday, we did a phone bank, KPU. We did a phone bank calling our legislature, basically asking them to apportion $200 million from their excess budget to affordable housing. So that is our focus. I mean, we do that work, and it's, it's in coordination and coalition with several other organizations throughout the state. So that is one of our goals, is to get more money for people to build more houses. It's a big deal because we do have to address this housing crisis on both ends. We have to address the lack of housing stock. We also have to address how difficult it is to find a home. It's difficult. It's just not easy. I mean, I've heard countless stories of people trying to find somewhere that's appropriate for them to live, somewhere that's safe, that's habitable. And you know what? We can't. It's hard. It's hard most of the time, Sometimes you just have to move far away to do it, Sometimes you maybe have to go to Huntington, sometimes you maybe have to go to Charleston, go to Lexington, to find somewhere to live, somewhere you can have a job and somewhere to live that isn't gonna have mold or water damage or any of that. So our goal is to make landlords more accountable to the needs of the people and to build more houses so that people can live. That's our goal.
The landlords are the people.
All right, thank you. We're not going to have any. We're not going to have any. We're not going to have any engagement in the chambers. Thank you. All right. Anybody else would like to come forward at this time and speak? All right. Hearing none, we're going to move on to consent agenda.
On the consent agenda, we have a resolution of the City of Ashland, Kentucky adopting, authorizing, and approving the course of action presented by the city manager on the items appearing on the consent agenda for the regular meeting of the Board of City Commissioners of March 14th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
New business item A, first reading and approval of an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute a contract with Lights Enterprises, Inc. for the purchase of all labor, materials, equipment, and services for the demolition and removal of all debris of 1825 Belmont Street in the amount of $5,800 for the Department of Community and Economic Development.
Chambers needs to be quiet, please. I'm sorry. Council?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item B, first reading and approval of an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute a contract with Lights Enterprises, Inc. for the purchase of all labor, materials, equipment, and services for the demolition and removal of all debris of 4116 Hart Street in the amount of $3,800 for the Department of Community and Economic
So
Development.
moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item C, first reading and approval of an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute a contract with Lights Enterprises, Inc. for the purchase of all labor, materials, equipment, and services for the demolition and removal of all debris of 462 29th Street in the amount of $27,950 for the Department of Community and Economic Development.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item D, first reading and approval of an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute an access agreement between the City of Ashland, Kentucky and Cleveland Cliffs Steel Corporation, allowing the City of Ashland access to property located at 23rd and Front Streets, Parcel 4 of the Norton landfill owned by Cliffs for the purpose of staging construction trailers and construction materials for the expansion of the city's wastewater treatment plant.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item E, first reading and approval of an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute a contract between City of Ashland and Public Services, Inc., Greenville Landfill for the removal and disposition of sludge from the City of Ashland wastewater treatment plant and water treatment plant for a period of 1 year in the amount of $295,680 for the Department of Utilities.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Item F, first reading and approval of an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute an amendment to the agreement for engineering services between the City of Ashland, Kentucky and Bell Engineering, increasing the contract in the amount of $10,500 and increasing the time by 60 days for the Johnson Fork, Bodges Drive, and Florida Street Water Booster Station Repairs Project for the Department of Engineering.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item G, reading and adoption of a municipal order entitled, a municipal order of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute a memorandum of understanding between the City of Ashland Fire Department, Russell Fire Department, Casburg Fire Department, and Catlettsburg Fire Department for the use of mobile air compressor mobile cascade system upon receipt of the FEMA Assistance to Firefighters Grant if awarded.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any other new business?
Quick draw the draw
Yes,
there.
sir. in light of the discussion and the number of phone calls and concern about ordinance 73 of 21, I move that we direct Mr. Moore to prepare an ordinance to repeal that ordinance until we can put together a better plan of enforcement, a better calendar of informing the property owners of enforcement. Basically, I think we rushed it, and it's caused a lot of confusion and a lot of issue. So
Okay.
I'd like for it to come back at some time, but for now, to get rid of what we've got.
Counselor, make a recommendation on clarification of that request, or is that enough for you to work with?
No, I understand totally.
Okay. All right, do we need to vote on that matter?
You need a second,
Okay,
yes.
I just want to say one thing. I've talked to,
Aren't you going to do some
I'm sorry.
discussion?
Or I thought-
Wait,
did
We
say
had a
that?
second. I think we had a second, did we not?
No.
Did you not say it? I
No.
thought you
Yeah,
did.
I'll say it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Well, I just want to state where I am with it too. So obviously there's absolutely a lot of confusion no matter which side you're on. I think we've all talked to KPU, we've talked to the landlords, we've all gathered as much information as we can to understand, but no matter what we have decided or as an ordinance, it's very important, it's clear. So it's the message of whatever the ordinance is or whatever the law is, it's got to be clear what it is. So I'm okay with, again, just to clarify, we're not voting on what we're going to do with the rental ordinance as it is right now. This is just for him to draft something, and then we will consider it next meeting.
Motion right now is just to draft an ordinance that would repeal the existing ordinance.
Okay.
Okay, do we have the second. There was a discussion. Any other commissioners like to speak?
I'd like to ask one thing. What about that April 1st date? Will this rescind that date?
Well, if you repeal the ordinance, there's
It's all
no
in
registration
rescission.
Sure of all
whatsoever.
that? Okay, I just want to make sure because that was pretty short.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other comments on this?
I agree. I think it's
Yeah.
unenforceable. I think it needs to be redone.
Rewritten.
Okay. All right, we have these first, second, discussion is closed. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, moving forward. All right.
Any
We have
other
a
new
mo-
business?
Any other business at this time?
I have a couple of things I want to say. First of all, we're moving into budget season, and I would like the commission and city employees to come up with an alternative to our IT situation with DC3. They came in and made a presentation which was essentially a dog and pony show. It was a waste of time. We're paying these folks $336,000 a year, and they're not doing the job they need to do. So we need to come up with, for $333,000, we can do a lot of stuff. So we need to come up with a different plan, and this is what happens when you hire a company that hasn't been vetted.
Okay.
So one other thing, appreciate that time. Also, repair fair's coming up, Saturday, May 18th. DJ Reimer is the Grand Skippy head kahuna of that. So if you would get in touch with him, they're looking for volunteers. D. Reimer at Ashland, Kentucky.gov. So, yeah, if you haven't signed up, you can sign up, and we'd love to have you volunteer. Thank
Okay,
you.
all right.
Mayor.
Would any other commissioners like to make any comments?
Sir.
All right. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Okay, I heard the second from one of you.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, we are adjourned.
First
Thank
and
you.
second, didn't
I
you?
thought you.